Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Please excuse my hair. As you guys know from previous videos, I hate doing my hair. I just would rather not, and today's my day off, so I just really wanted to be comfortable and just kind of throw my hair up. So please ignore what's going on with my hair. Also, I just got my eyebrows waxed, so if my eyebrows are a little bit red, that is why. Today's video is really exciting because I'm going to be talking to you about my Colourpop and MAC shadow palette. Now this is what I would call my life palette. A ton of YouTubers call it that on here, and this is basically all the shadows that I love using at the moment. I switch these out pretty much all the time, but this has been my life palette for a couple months now and nothing has changed, so I wanted to go through all the shadows with you guys and let you know why they're my favorite. I do want to mention that this is a MAC palette. It was $10. I like this packaging a little bit better than a Z palette because they're all separated and there's a slot for every one, whereas if I were to put them in a Z palette, I just find it gets really overwhelming with all of the colors that I have in there. This right here has 15 shadows, and I feel like for a life palette that is enough. That's pretty much all I need, and if I need to add more, then I'll just switch them out. I also want to mention that even though this palette is MAC, only 3 shadows in here are MAC. The rest are actually Colourpop. So I'm going to be going through each shade, telling you where they're from, the name of them, and I may also do a swatch on my wrist if I can get the lighting right. So yeah, this is my life palette, and stay tuned to see all of the colors in here and the swatches. Alright, so let's just break into this. As I said earlier, I like the style of the MAC palettes better because all of the shadows are separated and I can see all of the shadows clearly and they all have their own spot. For me, as an organized person, these palettes just look a lot nicer than the Z palettes. I find the Z palettes can be overwhelming, especially the big ones when you have like over 25 shadows in them. So let's get into it and start talking about the shadows that I have in here. This one right here is Take It Slow by Colourpop. This is a light champagne color and I like using this for my inner corners. It's also really great for popping in the center of your lid. It's similar to MAC All That Glitters, but I actually like Take It Slow a little bit better because it's a little bit lighter. I also used this as a highlight before. It's coming off a little bit more white in the camera than it actually is. It's more of a champagne gold. The shadow beside it is Colourpop's Outta. It's more of like a peachy shade. I love this one for setting my lid and just giving it a base. Even if I just throw this in my crease, it just gives an even skin tone on my lids. And then this one I also like for setting my lids, but it's a yellow undertone rather than the peachy pink undertone. This is Colourpop's Locked In Loaded. It really depends on which one I set my eyes with because one of them has peach and one has a yellow undertone. So it depends on what I'm going for that day. Sometimes the Locked In Loaded gives a little bit more color payoff, so I can use that in my crease. And both of these are matte shadows. And I don't think I mentioned it, but Take It Slow by Colourpop is more of a shimmery color. This next one is a dual chrome eyeshadow by Colourpop. This is Play by Play. I love this shadow because it's a gold with a green shift to it. It looks amazing on the eyes. I have a picture on Instagram of me wearing it and I just love it because it brightens up any eye look. It is one of those colors that gives color to your eyes, but it's very subtle. I use this all over the lid if I want a little bit of a pop of color. Also, I can use it just in the center of my lid if I want just a little bit of dimension to an otherwise gold champagne eye. The next color is also Colourpop. This is Colourpop Issues. This as well looks a lot more orange on the Colourpop website, but I was pleasantly surprised that it is more of an orangey peach that is a lot more subtle. A lot of people compare this to Peaches and Cream, I think it is, by Makeup Geek. I don't have any Makeup Geek shadows, but I've heard a lot of people compare this one to it. I like this one for blending it into my crease. It's one of those transition shades that is really subtle and I can pop it in my crease and just go for the day. It's very subtle and it goes really nicely with blue and green eyes because it is opposite on the color wheel. The next color right here is the first MAC shadow in the palette, and this is MAC Expensive Pink. Now this shadow I haven't used in a while, but it's a beautiful color, and as you can see it goes really nicely with this palette. I would consider this one to be a rose gold eyeshadow. It has gold reflex in it and pink reflex in it, so it's that perfect mixture of like a rose gold color. This one's really beautiful, but it does pull a lot of pink in the eye, and I haven't been doing a ton of pink, but it is a gorgeous color. The next color in the palette is Colourpop's You Know the Drill, and I really like this one as an all-over lid shade. This is probably my favorite, one of my favorite lid shades in the palette. I like this for like every day because I like using bronzy champagne colors on my lid. This one's perfect for that, and it also reminds me of MAC All That Glitters, which is similar. I'd say that MAC All That Glitters is a cross between these two Colourpop shadows. It's kind of in between the two. This one's a little bit darker and this one's a little bit lighter than it. And then the next one here is another MAC shadow, and this is Soft Brown. I love Soft Brown for using in my crease. It just deepens up the crease and adds some depth to it. The next color is Colourpop The News. I really like this color because it's almost like a brownish red color. I don't exactly know how to describe this color. It has a little bit of a red tinge to the brown. I like this because it just adds a little bit more color to the look. If I'm doing some gold on the lid, this is also really nice to deepen up the crease. The next color right here is Colourpop Get Out. This one is a deeper burgundy color, and I also like this for adding to my outer V, and also using a pencil brush and using it just on my lower lash line. It adds a lot of pop to the eyes, and it just kind of opens them up and deepens them in the outer corner. The next brown right here is Wake Up Call by Colourpop. Wake Up Call is similar to Soft Brown by MAC, but it's a lighter brown and it has a little bit of a warmer tint to it, so I like using this one separately from Soft Brown. I find that they give different looks. The next color is one of my favorite lid colors. This is probably my favorite. This is High Strung by Colourpop. A lot of you guys have asked me when I posted a video a while ago what I had on my eyes. This was the color. High Strung has probably the best payoff out of all the Colourpop shadows. I describe this color as like a bronze, but has like a pinkish purple undertone. The next one is kind of the biggest pop of color, as you can see, and this is For Sure by Colourpop. This is considered a pigment in their line, and that's exactly what it is. It has a ton of pigment, and as you can see, it's a really big pop of color. This is probably the color that I don't use the most in this palette. I've probably used it a handful of times, but when I see it in this palette, it just gives me that inspiration to do something different. I really like this For Sure mixed with Play by Play. Both of these colors look amazing together. If I have this Play by Play duochrome on my lid and then this one on my lower lash, it looks amazing. The second last color in the palette is Centerfold by Colourpop. It's a true peach for my crease. I really like using peaches in my crease. It just looks really nice and it complements my eye color as well as Outta look up here. So I really like this one. It's just a deeper color and it looks really nice on the eyes. And the last color in the palette is by MAC, and this is Swiss Chocolate. I really like this color because it's the deepest brown that I have in the palette. As you can see, I don't have any blacks. This color is probably the darkest I will go in my outer corner. I just like this color because it adds a lot of depth that a lot of these other colors can't do. So this is my go-to when I want to deepen up the outer corner. So those are all the shadows in my Life palette. I change this palette up every so often, so next time I change it up and most of the shadows change in here, I will give you guys an update. I hope you guys liked this video and liked seeing all the colors that I've been using on a daily basis. Colourpop just released a lot of new shadows for the fall, so I'm gonna have to try and check those out as well because I love their shadows, as you can see, and these are kind of those warmer colors for fall, so maybe in the winter time I'll switch it up a little bit and add some different colors to this, but as you can see, this is kind of the shade range that I go for on a daily basis. I find that these colors really complement my eye color, and that's why I go for these colors. I want to give you guys some recommendations, a few eyeshadows that I think that are really worth it in this palette that you need to try out. The first one is definitely High Strung, which is this lid color. It's gorgeous. I love it on my eyes, and every time I wear it, I get compliments on it. This one up here is the duochrome with the green and gold shift. It gives a pop of color, but it's subtle and it just looks stunning on the eyes. Definitely want you guys to try this one out because their duochromes are amazing. I have to try their new ones that just came out. I recommend Take It Slow if you guys are similar to my skin tone because I use it for an inner corner highlight, even on my cheekbones or on my nose. If I'm just using this palette, let's say for a weekend or something, I will just dip into this and use it all over as a highlight. So this one's a really great versatile shade as well. And the two crease shades that I recommend to you guys is Wake Up Call by Colourpop and The News by Colourpop. This one's more of the brown and this one has like a pinkish reddish undertone to it. Both of these are going to give you a wide variety of looks, and I highly recommend their mattes. They're great. So those are all the shadows in my Life palette and my recommendations for you guys to try out. I hope you guys liked this type of video, and I will give you guys updates when this changes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!